Hello, welcome back to Blender Sushi Live Coding. In this episode, I will be using Spherechoke add-on in Blender, basically to give you some kind of a quick trick. I call this like a kind of like a quick masking. So let's just get started. I'll start with importing an image, and I'll use the shadeless. And let's get our image. The image I'll be using is my old CG artwork. Basically, this was based on Japanese Kokeshi doll, and there is this gold money like in Chinese tradition as well. So, but anyhow, let's get started. Let's go to orthographic. Let's save this. Just call it Kokeshi masking. And okay, basically the idea is to use grease pencil to quickly do the masking for this object. So we have this gold money. So I'm holding D while drawing this using my mouse, and it's gonna be like pretty loose, so I can do it pretty roughly. And I'm doing it in one stroke. Sometimes it's not easy, but it takes a bit of practice. But I think after a while it should be pretty uh, natural. I mean, if you're using like a Wacom tablet, probably it's probably much easier. Just try to trace the element in an image, and yeah, just follow your instinct. So we got the heel there, and I will do the masking for the heel as well. For you see, for each stroke, I kind of leave it like that, kind of like open. And I'm gonna do the moon as well. This moon has, of course, the moon is like totally rounded. In this case, I'm just loosely trace over the moon. But anyhow, we have 4 strokes of this grease pencil. I'm gonna save it there. File, save as, new version. Go to compositing. So we have these strokes, shapes, and then we can use the shapes for our purpose, kind of to mask our elements of the image. So switch to Spherechoke, and Spherechoke has this control space macro that you can use, the GP plus for grease pencil setup. With this guy, you can load grease pencil. So I have a single grease pencil object, and then it has different layer, right? And you can pick a frame, but I'm gonna use just active frame. This guy gonna load all the shapes, all the strokes. I mean, so we have 4 different strokes, and we can basically pick the strokes over here, and we can also control the sampling of grease pencil. So I do that all the time already. If I go to switch to orthographic, you can see it's kind of masking the elements. Okay, the idea here is to use the list item, and we can kind of separate the shapes. So we have 4 strokes there, 4 shapes, 1, 2, 3, 4. And from that shapes, we can use the UV connection, and I believe we can just turn it into shapes. There you go, that's the shapes. I'll give it different color, and I will be turning on the Ngon tessellation. And okay, so what's next? So we can select this guy. Actually, we probably don't need to use the list item. We can just pipe in 4 different elements and slice them. Okay, we better use the list item actually in this case. List item goes in here. So we are separating 4 items, and we're gonna just bake it one by one. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now in the scene, we're gonna have our mesh. Basically, we can hide the grease pencil at this point. So we have this 1, 2, 3, 4 element shapes of the object. and you can arrange it as you like. I think the money needs to be at the front. This is the Kokeshi somewhere there. The moon should be far back. So we have 4 elements, and we can 1, 2, 3, 4 select them, and then Control J, just join them together. And I'm gonna do like a quick UV. Just hit tab and then tap U, smart UV, whatever, because we need a UV in order to do this projection. I go to the modifier, use the UV project, get our image, override the UV, and we need some kind of reference object. If I pick that, it's not gonna work actually. See, that's a bit wrong. This part actually can be scripted, or maybe I can use some kind of notes trick, but I always do this, like have a plane and then make sure the plane matches the original image dimension. Basically, that's all you need to do in order to make this to work. So I'm just matching this guy to the bounding of that original image. Roughly, that's about correct. You see, this is the reference object. I can call it reference. This guy is XY scale dimensions. The scale matching this guy right here. I don't know. I think I'm pretty sure we can script this, and then so that we can go back to our shapes and just use the reference object. And now if you check the texture, they should kind of matching if I am doing this correctly. Okay, this guy needs to be at the center. Okay, so now they are matching, and now we have kind of like this quick masking happening, and they are basically kind of like a 3D now. These shapes, you can separate them again, separate by loose part. Maybe this guy not too far from each other, so that's the back. This is the money. This is the Kokeshi. So I look at it from the front somewhere, and it looks kind of 3D, right? Maybe I need to use a camera and properly adjust the camera. View, look through camera. Blender has a 3D stereoscopic view somewhere here, if I'm not wrong. If you select the camera view, turn on view, and then just like a multi-view or stereoscopic, but this give you like a 3D 3D view. I like the left and right multi-view, and you can also control it from here, I believe. I haven't played around with this much. Stereoscopic view. But it's very interesting. You can render it out, and you get like a 3D looking view of 55. I don't know if this make it more 3D, but that's the whole idea, is to kind of separating the elements very quickly and then turn it into something that's kind of like a 3D. Just an example, yeah. So basically that's yeah, that's the idea. Imagine if you have more objects, you can just quickly trace it using grease pencil, and then using such a simple setup in SquareChalk, and then you combine with Blender modifier trick, you can perhaps get something that's looking, yeah, I don't know, maybe you can print it out as well and turn it into like a 3D card or something. But yeah, that's the whole setup here. Hopefully you like this trick. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.